Hey YouTube, it's ICU, and today we're going to be unboxing the brand new Apple TV 4 or 4th generation device, the same one that you can order online or pick up at your local Apple store. Alright, so getting started here, if you guys want a chance to win a brand new Apple TV of your own, just be sure to rate this video up and stick around to the end for complete instructions. Now this all new giveaway actually follows the conclusion of my iPhone 6s giveaway, which wrapped up yesterday. The winner to which will be announced in the next episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors, so if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, just be sure to click the subscribe button down below next to my channel name, that way you can be notified. Now starting out here, let's go ahead and take a look at the price for the all new Apple TV. So it comes in two different configurations, 32 or 64 gigabyte capacities. So as you can see here, 32 gigs starts at $149 or 64 will run you $199. And this one features 32 gigabytes of storage, whereas the one we're about to unbox comes equipped with 64 gigabytes. And honestly, if you were to ask me right now which one I'd recommend between 32 or 64 gigs, I would definitely say 32, because as of now, the applications in the App Store are actually rather small, smaller than what I had imagined. However, in the future, that could definitely change as more and more developers start to hop on board and as more intensive applications are developed, so keep that in mind. Starting off with this unboxing though, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the box. So the front simply features the Apple TV itself, and all four sides remain blank. And the back just has some basic information about it. It does confirm that it is the 64 gigabyte model, and down below at the bottom it has Apple's corporate address. And this box only slightly differs from the developer kit version in the sense that the dev kit stated developer kit on the top, whereas on the bottom it cleverly said as not yet seen on TV. So that's just an interesting little tidbit. Let's get into the Apple TV 4 unboxing now. Alright, so using my knife, let's go ahead and cut into the plastic here. Alright, now we're at the point where we can fully take it out of the plastic wrap. And setting it down, we can then proceed to lift the lid to reveal the new Apple TV 4 and its remote sitting directly on top. Okay, so starting off with what I think to be the more interesting of the two, let's get into the remote. So we're going to use this convenient plastic tab here that appears at the bottom to simply lift it out of the box. And now we can go ahead and take the plastic that's protecting it off. Alright, so here we go guys, the all new remote. Now I've been using mine for about a month and I've got to say I absolutely love it. The old remote pales in comparison to it. So here's the remote for the second and third generation Apple TV set-top boxes. Here's the all new one. Let me go ahead and run you guys through it really quick. So on the top we have this glass touchpad here that interacts to touch inputs. So in order to navigate through the menus, all you have to do is just swipe around like so. It's very easy and convenient. Also, it does actually click in, so this is how you'll be able to select things. You might be able to hear it on the camera here. Let me go ahead and bring this one over to the microphone. When you click in on it, you do get a very nice and firm click. And you may have noticed that we do have a tiny cutout here toward the top of the touchpad, and we also have one on the back. Those are the dual microphones for using Siri. And guys, Siri's great on the Apple TV. And we still do have the menu and pause play buttons from the Apple TV of old here in the Apple TV 4's remote. However, we do have some new additions. So whereas menu will just take you back one step, or you can hold it to go all the way back, the button over here on the right hand side will fully return to the home screen always. So all you have to do is just press this and it will immediately go to the home screen. You no longer have to hold down menu. You can if you want though, and you can also double press it to enter multitasking. Now we do have a volume control rocker here over on the right hand side, and that will essentially control the volume on your TV or soundbar via IR or infrared. So on the top here you'll notice that we do have an IR blaster there, and last but not least we do have a button for controlling Siri. So it's just that microphone button there toward the left. All you have to do is just hold it down and then you can interact with Siri. So actually returning to the box here, let's go ahead and pull the Apple TV out, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did to the remote. Simply take the plastic wrap protecting it off. Alright, so here we go guys. Overall, the exact same design as its predecessor, which let me go ahead and grab really quick. There is, however, one pretty big difference. While the footprint has remained the same, the overall height of the device has practically doubled. So that can be attributed to the bigger heatsink found in the Apple TV 4 to more effectively dissipate the heat for the more powerful A8 CPU. Now, I almost don't want to do this because it will reveal the shiny plastic on the sides of the device, but let's go ahead and pull this tab here to take the plastic wrap protecting the corners off of the Apple TV. So you can see what I mean here. The sides of this guy are complete fingerprint and scratch magnets. And quickly going over the ports, we do have the AC power adapter over on the left, USB Type-C toward the top. A cable is not included, but that's how you'll actually be able to restore your Apple TV inside of iTunes. We also have an HDMI 1.4 port toward the bottom there, as well as an Ethernet port in case you wanted to plug in directly instead of going over Wi-Fi. Now, returning to the box here, we do have this little tab or this little cutout that we can use to simply remove this piece of cardboard, and we have this little booklet here that states Apple TV, let's get started. So let's go ahead and remove this piece of plastic, and you'll notice that we also have 2 white Apple logo stickers as well as some Apple TV info. This is just a basic sheet. We can go ahead and set both of those down. Let's look at the let's get started packet here really quick. So it just goes over some physical aspects of the device, and it also mentions the remote and how to use Siri over here. So let's go ahead and set all of this off to the side now, because we actually have one other thing beneath where the Apple TV was housed. So we do have a Lightning to USB cable. Now you might say, well, why is this important? That's because the remote actually charges via a standard Lightning connection. So you could use the cable that came with your iPhone or iPad if you wanted to, but basically all you have to do is just plug it in like so, and then connect it to either a wall adapter or to your computer, and it will charge over USB. Now Apple claims you will get about 3 months of usage with the Apple TV remote and its battery, and I can say that that's probably very accurate, because the remote for my Apple TV 4 after about a month of usage is at about 66%. So some great battery life here on the Apple TV remote, and it doesn't take long to charge whatsoever. And now we have one other thing underneath where the remote was. So let's go ahead and just pull it out. This is the power cable, which is slightly different than the cables that came with the Apple TV 2 or the Apple TV 3. So let's go ahead and take the plastic off quickly here. You'll notice that the base of this is slightly different and revised over the cable's predecessor. And now let's go ahead and take the time to set up the device. I'm going to switch views here to my TV. All right, and after plugging in the power cable, the Apple TV will start to power up. So let's go ahead and connect to HDMI. All right, and the first time it boots up, you don't even receive an Apple logo. You're just brought straight into this screen, and it asks you to pair the remote. So let's just go ahead and click on the touchpad. And now, as you can see, it's asking us to select a language. So all we have to do is just navigate to our language of choice. In this case, English is at the top, and then just click in on it, followed by United States. And then from there, it should ask us if we either want to manually set up the Apple TV or use a device to. So something on iOS 9.1 or later, it says, and not the iPad 2. So I have a 6th gen iPod Touch here. Let's go ahead and test this out. All right, and getting a close-up of this, you'll notice that we actually have a pop-up on the iPod Touch now asking us to set up the Apple TV, so we can just go ahead and tap on continue. So now it's asking me to enter my Apple ID on the iPod Touch itself, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right, and after tapping OK, it continued on to verify identity, because I do have 2-step verification enabled on my Apple ID. So let's go ahead and verify that now quickly. All right, and after verifying it, we just have this message asking us if we want to send data to Apple. Now I'm going to tap on no thanks here on the iPod Touch, and it is continuing over on the Apple TV. So let's go ahead and return to that. So for location services, we're going to enable it, and same thing goes for Siri. Now it's going to ask us about automatic aerial wallpaper downloads. Let's go ahead and tap on automatically download, because those wallpapers are epic. Now for diagnostic and usage, we're not going to send this to Apple either. And for terms and conditions, oh wait, we do have a warranty pop up here. Let's go ahead and tap on agree to that, and we'll also agree to the terms and conditions there. So now we should be at the main screen here. As you guys can see, this is very basic and familiar too, by the way. So we do have a few applications here out of the box, and let me also just say that if you didn't automatically set it up, it is a real pain. You have to actually go through with the remote itself and select all of the letters for not only the password for the Wi-Fi network, but also the Apple ID as well as its password. Now the interface, like I said, is definitely familiar for those of you who are used to Apple TVs. It is slightly updated though. We do have an improved design. It looks more streamlined than ever before. And as you can see here, we can actually just browse through top movies just as easily as selecting the icon here and then navigating upward. So it is just very simple to navigate using this touch remote here. And if we want more information, of course, we can always go into the applications and we can get everything that way. So we're going to exit all the way out to the home screen there just by tapping on that button like I mentioned previously. And you'll notice we have the App Store on the Apple TV finally with the Apple TV 4. Now I have been browsing it for a while and I do already have some applications downloaded on my other Apple TV, and it's very easy to do so. All you have to do is just find an app you're interested in and you can either purchase it or tap on it to install or get if you haven't already installed it previously. So just navigating back here, let's go ahead and go over to ESPN. You'll notice that because I haven't downloaded this application, I do have a get button now instead. So let's go ahead and go all the way back, and now we're at the home screen again. And you'll notice that we do have the application installing. It just finished here. We have Rayman Adventures and we can tap on it to open. Games on the Apple TV are absolutely amazing, guys. You can see it did sign me into Game Center over there in the top right hand corner. We do have a notification for that, and we can continue to play if we want. So we can also exit out, and like I said before, you can double tap on the main menu button here or the main home screen button to actually enter multitasking. So when we do that, you'll notice here are our open applications and we can easily jump back and forth between them, or we can actually close out of an app just by swiping up like so. So we can actually return to the main home screen there. And one other quick thing before we conclude here, I wanted to talk about Siri. So let's go ahead and activate it now. You'll notice we have a really awesome interface that pops up and Siri asks what she can help with. So let's go ahead and start it again, and we're going to ask about a movie. Show me Star Wars. And after just a few seconds, it does provide a nice little pop-up here at the bottom that's very discreet, and you can swipe through all of the options that it brings back here. And of course, if you want more information on it, all you have to do is just click it. It gives you a button to directly buy it, or if it's something that's on Netflix, for example, let me go ahead and show you guys that in just a second. You will actually have an open in Netflix option. So it's really great, it's smart and it's intuitive, and it knows where all of the content actually is. But let's just quickly go over the interface that you receive here when browsing through movies. So at the top, you do have the information here. You can tap on it for the synopsis, and it also gives you reviews, the rating of it, when it was released, who it actually stars, the director of it. It gives you some nice related titles here toward the bottom. And then if we continue to swipe down, we also have ratings and reviews, cast and crew, and we have some additional information as well. Now, like I said, let's go ahead and ask for something that we know is inside of Netflix. 30 Rock. And now that it's up here, we can go ahead and just tap on it. And once it brings us to this menu, it tells us that we have seasons 1 through 7 on Netflix. Let's go ahead and try one more. Game of Thrones. Now this one isn't on Netflix, but it is on HBO. So you can see we have HBO now, and we can actually tap on it. And the same thing happens if we were to tap on the open in Netflix option. It asks us to actually obtain the app from the App Store. Then when we click on that, of course, it will redirect us to the App Store. But Siri can do so much more than that. For example, we can ask it about the weather or sports stats. So what's the weather like in Los Angeles? And Siri's very fast. You can see it brings up the weather there. It's currently 81 and sunny in LA, and we can also swipe up for an extended forecast there. So without giving too much away, just my initial unboxing here, guys, if you want to win an Apple TV of your own, it's very simple. All you have to do is just go to freeappsfast.com inside of mobile Safari on your iOS device and sign up. After you do, download one or more of the sponsored apps in the main section, just so long as you earn points. Then navigate to the 4th tab at the bottom, and you see that referral link there. Just take the unique part and post it in the comment section of this video. That will count as one entry. Now, if you want an additional entry, there will be another link down below in the more info to my tweet announcing this video. All you have to do is just retweet it, and note that the entries are weighted. So what I mean by that is the entries for Free Apps Fast will count 2-to-1 to Twitter. So if you don't want to sign up for Free Apps Fast, you can still enter, but please do, because they're the sponsor. That's how we're actually able to give away the Apple TV. And if you guys want to be updated more often, such as when I create new videos covering the absolutely awesome Apple TV 4, or even things like jailbreaking, just be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.